Hello class! Today we've got an extra special lesson for you. We're going to be looking at DC Universe Classics Wave 17, figure number 1, Star Sapphire Wonder Woman. This is when she got she became a Star Sapphire as part of the Blackest Night ballyhoo that went on. You can see the purplish power lantern there, and her doing Gangnam Style or something. At any rate, side of the packaging includes your collect and connect figure piece. That's excellent. It's the upper and middle torso, and we can see it in there. On the back, we have a nice picture of Wonder Woman, and I guess we'll look at that a little bit more when we look at the figure itself. She looks quite a bit like a slut there. At any rate, the biography for Wonder Woman has always been a warrior and a peacemaker. Let's stop there. Warrior and peacemaker. No, 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 no. That's kind of like Coke and Pepsi. The two don't get along. You cannot be both at the same time. Can't. It's, you know, oxymoronic or some shit like that. Anyways, after Necron seized control of her, converting Wonder Woman into one of his black lanterns, a violet power ring found her and severed her connection to the forces of death. She transformed into Star Sapphire Wonder Woman, boy that's a lot to say, and turned the immense power of her love for all living things, except men, against the Black Lanterns. Yeah, I know, that's that whole Amazonian thing. Some people really, really bitched about her being the lantern fueled by love, and you know what? I don't care enough. Anyway, some stats on her. First appearance was in Blackest Night, number 6, back in February of 2010. Her real name is Diana of Themyscira. Her occupation is Champion of Justice. Try putting that on a CV. I dare you. Go do it. And then let me know how that worked out. Her base of operations is Washington, D.C. Her special abilities include super strength, flight, invulnerability. She channels the love in her heart through her Star Sapphire ring, creating violet energy constructs. Oh my god. She has a purple power ring that she uses to beat shit up. Oh my god. We can see also there's some extra labels on here of where it was made and imported by and all that kind of stuff. That's because we had to make sure we had the French labels on here because it is Canada after all, and that's why we've got these extra warning labels and stuff on the front. On the back we can see some other figures from the wave. So we started off with Wonder Woman. We've already looked at Sinestro Corps Scarecrow. There's also Blue Lantern Flash, Indigo Atom, Orange Lantern Lex Luthor, and then a couple versions, of Hal Jordan as a black or white lantern. And all of these contain pieces to build the Anti-Monitor, whom I can't even remember if he was part of Blackest Night. But anyways, there he is, so we'll be able to build him. So I think that's our in-package look at Wonder Woman as a Star Sapphire. So what we'll do is we'll open this, and we'll have a closer look. Alright, here we've got Star Sapphire Wonder Woman in all of her trashy glory. And even before we go too far, if we see if we get the camera to focus there, we've got Made in China as a tramp stamp on Wonder Woman. How great is that? So there we have her. I should point out one other thing. In the packaging, she had her arms crossed like this, and I was making a joke about the kind of dance moves she was doing, but I guess it's supposed to be that she's using her bracers, or bracelets, or whatever, to deflect bullets or something, which doesn't make any sense at all if she's got a power ring, because, you know, force fields and stuff like that. Kind of makes the bracers redundant. And that's also why, I don't know how well you can see it, we've got the clear rubber band here, and that is how they held it together. We just would have that. Oh, come on. There we go. And that way we can hold that position of the bracers crossed in front of her. So there you go. But we'll get rid of that now. So for the coloring for this character is lots of pink. I don't know what color. My wife says, the evil wife says that it's fuchsia. I don't know. As I said, I really only see 8 colors in the world, or maybe, well, closer to 12. But we can see that again, lots of pink on there. We've got some of the gold colors, which is part of her Wonder Woman thing. And we've got the lasso, which actually I want to spend a moment on. It is a separate piece, and what they've done is I think they've put a little peg on it and then drilled a hole in, and they've glued it on there. So it is a separate piece, which is nice. I do like that. Her boots look more or less painted on, which I guess is the way most of the Star Sapphires are. And if we look at the face, We can focus on there. We can see that there is extra texture for this kind of mask that she's wearing now. Now, the only thing I'd like to point out about that is that this kind of thing they've done, put the extra piece around the cheekbones and the eyes and stuff, that's what they do when they're doing zombie effects, to try to make the eyes look sunken in more, so it just looks like her face is sunken in a little bit. That's just my opinion. I think the detail on it is pretty good. The evil wife says she looks like she's got a man face. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but, you know, it is what it is. But the detail work actually is not that bad. It's too bad in terms of the rest of the paint, how bad the detail work is. You can see here we've got some paint not done properly there. She's got a spot of, I think it's purple or something on her neck. The arms aren't done very well. That ribbon or whatever that's painted on, not very well done. In the back, this piece here, the lower half of her, is a different color of pink or fuchsia or whatever color it is than the rest of her outfit. It's like they used a different plastic for here and then they just painted the rest. I don't know what's going on there. And this collar across the top is just, well, I know it's a design thing, but it's just stupid. What can I say? And the power ring is a different color than the rest of her costume, as you can see there. Which actually in this respect is not bad, because that way we can definitely see that it's there. But yeah, not terribly impressed. And I'm not exactly a champion of you know, women's rights and things like that, but I have to say, did we need to make Wonder Woman trashier? Like, really? It was just like, you know, you could fill some of that in. It wouldn't be a horrible thing. And I understand who the target audience is for most comic books, and there are people out there who've lamented about this a fair bit more, and so I'm not going to. But seriously, did we... okay, I'll stop. Now, one of the accessories that we do get is this power battery, which to me, again, doesn't look pink, it looks purple, which matches actually, I think, the ring, but not the rest of her outfit, and so it leaves me very confused as to what color of the spectrum she's supposed to be. But it's the one thing the evil wife pointed out right away is that it's not even symmetrical. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be or not, but it is notable that the bottom end is bigger than the top end, and while we can put it in her hand, it doesn't sit in there very well. It's hard to even get her hand stuck in there. There we go. So she can hold her power battery, which I don't know if the replacement core even had power batteries in the comic book, because I don't think they were lanterns long enough for it to really matter. In terms of the articulation for this figure, you know what? It's going to be pretty much typical for a DCUC figure. Her head does move, but because of the hair, which actually I should point out is very well sculpted. That's really good. Not a lot of movement there. The shoulders can rotate and go up and down. We can rotate at the upper arm there. We can bend at the elbow, and then we can rotate the hand at the wrist. I don't think it can move. Nope, doesn't move forward or back. What's interesting about this one, and I hadn't seen it at this point before, is that a lot of the female characters have the waist torso articulation right in the middle, whereas Wonder Woman here, it's a little bit higher up. And I think that is somewhat better. And it's just because I always thought it looked pretty bad on female characters when they rotated right at the waist, or had that articulation there. So if we stand her there for a second, we can give you a comparison. We'll grab Big Barda here, and that bit of articulation is right at her waist. And if we turn it, you know, you can damn near rest a Coke on the side there, and it just looks very, very horrible. Go away. And so they changed that with Wonder Woman here. Is it better? I guess a little bit. It's different at any rate. Leave it at that. The hips are the same kind of joint that we'd expect, so it goes forwards, backwards, up a little bit. We can bend at the knee, we can rotate at the thigh, and then at the boots, the ankles, we can move them back and forth. Not as much articulation as we've seen in some other figures, but on the whole, not too bad. Now, the other thing that this character comes with, besides this lantern battery, which, actually I kind of like the lantern battery more than I think I like the rest of the figure, to be perfectly honest. Stand her back there. It comes with a piece of Anti-Monitor, whom I know more or less nothing about, but we can see that here, and it's going to be huge, which is great. And we can see this little cloth bit in the top here, and we'll talk about it more later, because woohoo! We've got a whole bunch of it there. You know what I see when I see this thing? And we'll talk about this more later, but really all I see is that I'm going to have to iron this goddamn thing before I put it together. And, you know, we're talking about a champion of women's rights and all that crap, and then it comes with something that has to be ironed. Mixed messages there, people. Now I'll probably do it myself. I won't ask Evil Wife to do it. I'll do it myself. But, Christ, why... Oh my god. Anyways, we'll rant about this more when we look at Anti-Monitor when we put him together, but seriously, you're going to make me iron something before I can put it together? Love of... Anyways. Now, if I were to grade this figure, you know what? I'm not overly impressed with this Wonder Woman, besides the fact that I just have a general dislike for the design of the costume as a whole, which is not the figure's fault. More or less just whoever designed Wonder Woman to look like this. But I'm not impressed with that. I just, again, I don't quite see why we have to objectify Wonder Woman more than she already is. The paint isn't terribly good, and the face is kind of ugly. And this, I don't know, the lantern battery, I don't understand why it's not symmetrical, but that might just be a design thing. Anyways, I'm not overly impressed with this figure. If I were to give it a grade, you know what? We'll give Wonder Woman a C. It's average. The paint is pretty sloppy in places, and for the amount that there is with some of the detail work, it's pretty sloppy, and I'm not terribly impressed with that. Given that I was actually really looking forward to this wave in general, I'm just kind of thinking, I'm just not terribly impressed. So I think that is our lesson on Wonder Woman from DC Universe Classics. I think it was Wave 17. Thank you very much. Class is dismissed. Stupid Mattel. Make me do ironing. Bunch of bastards. Ooh, it looks good though.